For decades, people who claimed to see unidentified flying objects were often dismissed with a smile. Their stories became late-night radio shows, conspiracy theories, and Hollywood movies. Most people believed there was nothing real behind them. Then something happened that almost no one expected. In 2020, the United States Department of Defense, better known as the Pentagon, confirmed that 3 mysterious videos recorded by U.S. Navy pilots were authentic. Not aliens, not spaceships, simply real footage of unidentified aerial phenomena. That single statement changed the conversation forever, because for the first time, the world's most powerful military admitted that trained pilots had encountered objects they could not identify. But this story didn't begin in 2020. It began more than 70 years earlier, with one ordinary flight that would forever change the way humanity looked at the sky. It was June 24, 1947. Businessman and experienced pilot Kenneth Arnold was flying his small aircraft near Mount Rainier in Washington State. The weather was clear. Visibility was excellent. Nothing about the flight seemed unusual. Then, without warning, Arnold noticed a bright flash. As he scanned the horizon, he saw 9 strange objects flying in formation. They weren't shaped like conventional airplanes. They moved with incredible speed, weaving between mountain peaks in a way no aircraft of the time could. Arnold estimated their speed at well over 1,000 miles per hour, far faster than any known military aircraft in 1947. Shaken by what he had witnessed, he reported the sighting after landing. When journalists asked him how the objects moved, Arnold replied that they skipped through the air, like a saucer skipping across water. The description wasn't meant to explain their shape. It described their movement. But newspapers misunderstood the quote. Within days, headlines around America introduced a brand new phrase: flying saucers. Overnight, thousands of people began reporting similar sightings. Some described glowing discs. Others reported silent lights hovering over forests, deserts, and cities. The phenomenon spread far beyond the United States. Governments took notice. Military intelligence started collecting reports. Behind closed doors, investigations quietly began. Publicly, officials tried to calm the growing fascination. Privately, they were asking a very different question. What exactly were people seeing? That question would follow the U.S. military for decades, and eventually, it would lead straight to the Pentagon itself. For decades, reports of strange objects continued to appear around the world. Most were quickly explained away as weather balloons, aircraft, optical illusions, or simple mistakes. But in November 2004, something happened that even experienced military personnel struggled to explain. It began aboard the USS Nimitz, one of the United States Navy's most advanced aircraft carriers. The strike group was conducting routine training exercises off the coast of Southern California. Everything seemed normal. Then the radar operators noticed something impossible. Unknown objects were appearing at extremely high altitudes, over 80,000 feet. Within seconds, they would descend to just above the ocean. No known aircraft could perform such a maneuver without breaking apart. At first, the operators assumed it was a radar malfunction, but the mysterious tracks kept returning again and again. To investigate, 2 FA-18 Super Hornets were redirected toward the location. One of the pilots was Commander David Fravor, a veteran aviator with thousands of flight hours. As he approached the area, he immediately realized something was different. The ocean below wasn't calm. A patch of water looked as though something enormous was moving just beneath the surface. Hovering above it was a smooth white object. It had no wings, no visible engines, no exhaust, no markings of any kind. Fravor later described it as looking like a giant white tic-tac. The object wasn't flying in a straight line. It darted unpredictably, changing direction with astonishing speed. Curious, Fravor began descending toward it. The object reacted instantly, almost as if it knew it was being watched. It climbed toward his fighter jet, circled briefly, and then it vanished. Not gradually, not into the clouds. It simply accelerated away so fast that it disappeared from sight within seconds. Moments later, another surprise arrived. Radar operators reported that the object had reappeared nearly 60 miles away at the Navy's designated rendezvous point, a location that had never been shared over the radio. It was already waiting there. How it got there so quickly remains unexplained. Another aircraft was launched to capture evidence. This time, its targeting camera recorded the mysterious object. Years later, that footage would become one of the most famous military videos ever released. It would eventually be known around the world as FLIR 1, and it was only the beginning. The Nimitz encounter was no longer just another pilot's story. Now there was video evidence, but it wasn't the only recording. Over the following years, U.S. Navy pilots captured 2 more encounters that would spark worldwide debate. One of them became known as GIMBAL, recorded in 2015. The footage showed a dark object moving through the clouds at high speed. Then, without warning, it appeared to rotate in midair. As the pilots watched in disbelief, one voice could be heard saying, "Look at that thing." Another added, "There's a whole fleet of them." The excitement in the cockpit was impossible to fake. These were not civilians searching for UFOs. They were highly trained military pilots reacting to something they had never seen before. The second video, known as GOFAST, seemed to show another object racing just above the ocean's surface. At first glance, it looked impossibly fast. Experts later debated whether the camera's perspective made the object appear faster than it actually was. But even after careful analysis, no definitive explanation was accepted. For years, these videos quietly circulated online. Some believed they were genuine. Others dismissed them as elaborate hoaxes. Then, in 2017, everything changed. The New York Times published a groundbreaking investigation revealing that the U.S. government had secretly funded a program to study unidentified aerial phenomena, known as the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or ATIP. The project had spent years collecting military reports and analyzing unusual encounters. The article also brought the Navy videos into the public spotlight. Suddenly, what had once been considered fringe speculation became front-page news. 3 years later came the announcement that stunned the world. In April 2020, the Pentagon officially confirmed that the 3 leaked Navy videos were authentic. The department stated that the footage had been released to clear up confusion about whether the clips were real. It also emphasized one critical point. The objects seen in the videos remained unidentified. The Pentagon did not say they were alien spacecraft. It did not claim they came from another planet. It simply acknowledged that trained military personnel had recorded objects that could not be confidently identified, that distinction is often misunderstood. But it is exactly what made the announcement so significant. For the first time, the mystery was no longer confined to conspiracy theories. It had become an official question with no official answer, and that question would soon reach the halls of Congress. The Pentagon's confirmation did not solve the mystery. In many ways, it was only the beginning. For decades, military pilots often chose not to report unusual encounters, not because they didn't happen, but because doing so could damage a pilot's reputation. No one wanted to be labeled as the person who had seen a UFO. As a result, many incidents were never officially documented. That began to change after the Navy introduced new reporting procedures. Pilots were encouraged to report anything unusual without fear of ridicule. Almost immediately, more cases started coming in, not just from one squadron, not just from one region, but from different parts of the world. Some reports described objects remaining perfectly motionless despite powerful winds. Others involved craft that appeared to accelerate far beyond the capabilities of known aircraft. In several cases, pilots reported seeing no wings, no rotors, no visible engines, and no obvious means of propulsion. Investigators collected radar data, infrared footage, cockpit recordings, and eyewitness testimony. Whenever possible, each case was examined individually. Many were eventually explained. Weather balloons, commercial drones, military exercises, optical effects, or limitations in the sensors themselves. But a surprising number could not be conclusively identified. Not because investigators believed they were alien spacecraft, but because the available evidence simply wasn't enough to reach a reliable conclusion. In intelligence work, unidentified doesn't mean extraterrestrial. It means exactly what the word suggests. The object has not yet been identified with confidence. That distinction is crucial because uncertainty should never be confused with proof. Even so, every unexplained case raised another question. If these objects weren't foreign aircraft, and they weren't ordinary natural phenomena, then what exactly were military pilots encountering in restricted airspace? That question became important enough for the U.S. government to take another step, one that would bring the mystery directly before Congress. In recent years, lawmakers demanded greater transparency from the Department of Defense. Public hearings were held. Military officials answered questions under oath. Former Navy pilots described encounters that had remained with them for years. Some intelligence officers even claimed that the government possessed information that had never been shared with the public. Those claims attracted enormous attention. However, it's important to separate claims from verified evidence. Extraordinary statements require extraordinary proof, and so far, no publicly released evidence has confirmed that any recovered object originated from an extraterrestrial civilization. Government investigations continue today. Each new report adds data. Some mysteries are solved, others remain open. Scientists, engineers, intelligence analysts, and military experts all approach the question from different perspectives. Some believe advanced drone technology may explain many sightings. Others argue that unknown atmospheric effects or sensor limitations account for more cases than people realize. And some insist that a small number of incidents still defy conventional explanation. For now, none of these possibilities has been proven beyond doubt. That is why the term UAP, unidentified anomalous phenomena, has largely replaced the older phrase UFO. The new terminology avoids assumptions. It doesn't imply alien visitors. It simply acknowledges that something was observed, but has not yet been fully identified. After nearly 80 years of reports, investigations, classified programs, and official statements, one fact remains unchanged. The mystery is still unsolved. Perhaps one day new technology will provide the answers. Perhaps forgotten documents will finally become public. Or perhaps history will reveal that the explanation was something entirely different from what anyone imagined. Until then, the Pentagon's videos remain exactly what officials describe them as: real recordings of real encounters with objects that, at least for now, remain unidentified.